And we're live. Welcome back, Northreach, to another episode of The Chopping Block. I'm Hars, and as always, with me is Vex.
Hello.
And today's guest is the newest knight of Northreach and the Kingdom Prime Minister. Welcome, Viscountess Dame Hadelind. Or Viscountess.
Hello, hello.
How's it going today, Hadelind?
Today has been fabulous.
How's your day been, Hars?
Oh my god, Vex, stop stealing my questions. I was like, I want to ask a question, but I think that's not my role here, so I was just like, but I want to know.
I mean, kind of based on our track record, we let Abram ask us a couple questions, and he slowly started hijacking the show, and we didn't even realize it.
There's been some.
Oh my god, that is so Abram.
All right.
I think Blue asked
But
us
for
some
realsies.
really-
Yeah, Blue did ask us a couple questions. Things are going alright. I don't know if I want to say where I'm working, but the holiday season's been kicking up at my work, so we've been getting a lot of logistic work lately. So that's been fun.
Brain power.
Actually, not brain power. Actual physical power.
Foot power.
Brawn power.
I work logistics, so there's definitely a lot of lifting.
Dude, do you even lift, bro?
Logistics
the
for
lift.
motherland.
All right. So I know I usually like the talks we have before this, but we got a lot of questions for you for this episode, Hadelind. So so maybe we should.
All right, let's do it.
Maybe we should start turning into some of these. Yeah. All right.
Rip
So.
it up. Rip it up.
All right, let's rev it up. So this first one we got is from Malik, and that is, how did you get/make your persona name?
So, this actually came from, I spent a year in Germany, and the name Hadelind is of German descent, and it means, battle shield. And I thought that was pretty cool, and so I liked that idea. And then I just added die Reiterin at the end because it means the rider. And I ride horses, so that seemed cool too. So I just stuck them together and gave myself a very German name.
And I can't see this right now because I haven't gotten it from you yet, but isn't your heraldry like a set of horses or something?
It is, but there's a funny story behind that because that is not what my heraldry started out as. I'm sure everyone's heraldry morphs over time, right? But my heraldry started out as a blue Arctic poppy because I thought they were really pretty. Which really has nothing to do with my name or Germany or anything, but I just thought it would be fun to be somebody who likes to hit people and then have a flower as my heraldry. I actually never put heraldry on anything. I think except it's still my avatar picture on the forums. So for those of you diehard forum users out there, and I know who you are.
Both of you.
You know what that picture is. But for everybody else, yes, my heraldry is 2 ponies.
Beautiful. I swear, Razor's been asking some good questions on this show lately.
His latest good question is, as much as you've been in office, have you ever felt burned out during a term? If so, how did you deal with it?
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, you kind of have the record for serving in office now.
I have actually only spent about 6 months of the over 5 years that I've been playing Amtgard not in office. Basically, I played long enough to qualify to run for office, and then I've just been in office since then. So I'm not really sure how to Amtgard if I'm not in office. I think I'm gonna try to learn that. That will be my next challenge. But I mean, like anybody else, when you're passionate about something and you're putting in a lot of effort, burnout is always a danger. And it's something that I think it's good that we talk about quite a bit as volunteers and not just officers, right? I mean, burnout can happen for anybody. So, when you start to become aware of those signs, you have to re-engage in what drew you to Amtgard in the first place. For me, it's the people. Like, I love the people of Amtgard because we are everybody. We're every man, right?
Right.
And so, you know, when I start to get really bogged down in the paperwork, the process, the bureaucracy, you know, and just the daily toil of it, I remember how much I love the people, and I just try to engage with the people to sort of reinvigorate my enthusiasm. And then it makes it easier to do the other parts that might be bogging me down a little bit.
I always like asking this question on our show because we never really get 100% the same answer twice.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that's because Amtgard is something a little bit different for each person. You know, it has a little bit of a different meaning. It has a different impact. And so for each person, how they handle burnout or the potential of burnout is a little bit different. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think it's finding your spark and your passion that drew you to Amtgard in the first place, and then making sure that you make time for that in your Amtgard life, and that part doesn't get pushed out to the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's important to remember.
Plus, it's like important that this thing that we do as a hobby still is fun, because that's why we do it.
And that's why it's a hobby.
Absolutely.
So, this next question we got is from Karina, and that is, what is your favorite class, or classes if you have more than one?
Oh man, so anybody who's played with me on the field knows how much I love Monk. Monk is the best because I can ignore everybody who's pointing at me and saying stuff that I don't know what it does anyways, and I don't care. So Monk is the best.
I don't know, I think there's a gray area you're missing, but that's just me.
Well, okay, I will say that anti-paladin is kind of growing on me, because I get to ignore some of it, right?
That's true, that's true.
But I'm like, dude, immune to flame, totally bitchin'. And poison is pretty great. Also, not gonna lie, poison on a polearm should be illegal, and I love it. Ha 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 ha.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of a nice change of pace to see an anti-paladin for a change.
Ooh. My favorite part is that I'm probably one of the happiest people on the field, and I adore that my belt says, stay positive, be happy, and then I play anti-paladin.
Hey, I mean, I think in mathematics, if you put two negatives, you get a positive or something like that.
Absolutely. I have plans for some super shiny, happy shield that has a black phoenix on it.
I love it.
No, I was pretty much just to say the next thing is I have to actually find time to make that. So it may just remain a concept and never actually come to fruition.
Well, maybe in a couple decades when you actually decide to take a break from office, you could work on it then.
That's what I'm hoping.
Our next question comes from Mini Bard. If each Kingdom top 5 member were some sort of tasty treat, what would they be and why? This question concerns me.
Yeah, a little bit on my end.
Cannibalism?
Kind
of edging it in there.
That's not what I was thinking, but yeah, I'm gonna go with your idea, Vex.
Yeah, let's go with Vex's idea. That's probably safer somehow, which is frightening. Yeah, can I pass on this? Mini Bard, totally, absolutely appreciate this question, and I think I understand the total goofy place from which this comes, but it seems like a
danger
minefield. Yeah, that I'm just gonna pass.
Okay, fair enough, I guess.
Doesn't matter what you answer, there's always a why that will haunt everyone.
Yeah.
Right?
So, This next one we got is from Lachlan, and I'm kind of happy that this is sort of becoming a traditional question to ask now. And he asks, if you were in a game of Cards Against the Monarchy, what would your white card be?
See, this is why I should read the questions beforehand so that I had something super clever, because I knew there was going to be something like this. I know that I have played on many occasions Cards Against Humanity, and also on a couple of occasions Cards Against the Monarchy. But you have to remind me. So the black card is
the question card.
Okay, and the white card is the answer card.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, now remind me what the question was. Am I doing a black card or a white card?
White card.
White card. Somehow make it more difficult. I guess I'm gonna go with a bigger, blacker phoenix.
Okay, I think we got our episode title. I'm calling it that now.
There we go.
Okay, so Hadelind, I don't know how much of our episodes you watch, but I have like a tradition that I never come up with
All
an
of
episode
them.
if I can help it.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Hadelind. Your episode is now called The Bigger, Blacker Phoenix.
I kind of adore that, so it's okay.
Okay. So Malik asked a couple for this next one, and that is, what offices, and this next one he asks is, what offices have you held and for how long?
So I've held 3 offices. The first one was Principality Prime Minister. I held that office for, I think it was a year and a half. And then I was the Principality Monarch for a year. Then I was Lupa Moon Monarch for 6 months. And then I'm back to Prime Minister, and that was sort of split between Principality and Kingdom.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I'll be wrapping up my year-long term as Prime Minister at the end of January. So at Dungeon Crawl, I'll be stepping down from this office, and I am not running for anything in that election cycle.
Really?
Yeah.
You're retiring?
Oh no, I'm taking a break.
Retiring's not the right word, but yeah.
Right. I mean, but a little break, and yeah, maybe even like, I don't know, a whole 6 months or something.
Hey, vacation time is nice for everybody.
I have a lot of projects that I'm really, really interested in that, office duties take priority. And so a lot of projects that are sort of, I don't know, passion projects, I don't know if that's a good term for it, that I'm really looking forward to being able to put some time and effort into. And we have some really amazing qualified candidates, and I'm really excited to see new people stepping into office, and I'm looking forward to the new perspectives and experiences and qualifications that they bring to office.
Yeah, and never underestimate what you can do with a little bit of downtime. Like, Goran actually started Wolf's Cry when he wasn't in office, just because he was like, hey, I'm not really doing anything. You mind if I just do this?
Right.
And in all honesty, that's kind of how we started the chopping block, is just because, I was out of office, and I was like, hey, Goran, can I do this for this kingdom term? He's like, sure. And here we are now, 4 months later? Something like that.
Yeah, you get to funnel your energy into the pieces that really light you up. And I'm looking forward to that.
Sounds like it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, maybe I'll just play a lot of video games and just hit people on the weekends. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to fault you for that one. That's what I'm doing when I'm not doing this.
Same.
I love that I'm in good company.
Right?
We everybody's friend here.
I've got a broken sewing machine that I just keep staring at as I'm holding my controller.
Yes. Man, somebody should make like a sewing machine repair game, and then you would totally own that.
Right.
It's your $1 million idea.
Just Just gonna put that down on my list of ideas to do later.
The next question is from Malik as well. What is your favorite Amtgard event, Northreach or otherwise? Ooh.
This is kind of tricky, right?
Yeah.
So I love going to Clan because I love getting the opportunity to talk to people from all across that sort of Amtgard sphere.
And hit them.
And yeah, and mostly just be hit by them. I mean, honestly, I just get hit and die a lot. But it's really awesome to be able to have those experiences. And of course, COM, and I find that really fascinating and enlightening. And it's really important to me to keep up on what's going on in the grander scheme of Amtgard. But I love our Northreach events. One of my favorite events that is we haven't had recently is Grand Academy. It sort of goes along the vein of my interest. It's education and sharing experiences and sort of lifting up participants and improving their ability to Amtgard better. So I love the premise behind Grand Academy, and when we were planning sort of the last round, it was really hard for me to not just want to teach all the classes because I loved when I was first starting. The first 2 Grand Academies that I went to was just full of incredibly useful information, and I loved meeting the other people who were excited about learning the same stuff. And so I'm really looking forward to a resurgence in Grand Academy.
That'll be cool to see.
Yep.
I need to work on my Belt family stuff anyway.
Right? It's a thing. Believe me, it's totally gonna be a thing.
I hope so. Well, this next one we got from Malik is, what is your favorite armor type appearance-wise? I mean, I know you're a monk, so I guess that's kind of a foreign concept to you, but...
It's something that now that I'm playing anti-paladin, I'm like, man, I can have armor. What? So, the type of armor that I just like seeing on the field is really anything that was made with pride and passion. I love seeing anything on the field that I know somebody took a lot of time and effort to research, to learn how to craft that particular item, that really just poured their all into it. And that can be any type of armor. If I'm just looking through the internet at armor, which I don't do very frequently, but from time to time I do, I really like the look of the cool leather armor. I also, there's some really cool lamellar out there, and of course chain can also be really cool, especially when people who are really good at it have put together some good chain.
Yeah, I've always had sort of a soft spot for a lamellar too. It just looks, I like the way it looks.
Right, there's some really cool things you can do with it, but any even basic suit of armor that is done with attention to detail and just high craftsmanship, you can spot that from a mile away, and immediately that's attractive.
The next question's from Hunter. Would you ever consider bringing me cookies and/or brownies on a park day?
I'm going to correct you on that one, Vex. It doesn't say bringing, it says brining me cookies or brownies.
Brining.
So,
Yeah.
And then you replied salty cookies. Yeah.
I mean, whatever floats your boat,
Yes.
honestly.
So brining anything is pretty amazing. Typically that involves vinegar, and I'm a really huge fan of vinegar. Little known fact, which I am super happy to share with the world in general. When I was a kid, my grandpa and I used to fight over who got to drink the pickle juice. So I'm a definite fan of brining anything. I will also say that I have never attempted to brine anything like a cookie or a brownie. I'm not sure that I would be very good at it, but I would absolutely be willing to try. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this question was, would you ever consider, right? It wasn't actually requesting that this be done. I would absolutely consider it. In fact, I've already considered it just in answering this question. So the answer is yes, I would consider it.
Well, Hunter, you here? Well, Hunter, I'm sure if she wants a guinea pig, she'll probably ask you at least.
Pickle.
It's been officially considered, right?
Well, and then there's different, like, do you have to sort of pickle or brine the entire cookie? Or could you make cookies and then add something like pickled plums to them?
Or is it like while you're mixing it into the dough, instead of like vanilla, you use vinegar or something?
Yeah.
I like all of these questions, and I sense like a crown qual theme coming on.
What, pickle theme?
Beware food judges, that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh god, that scares me actually. Alright, so Hadelind, you're kind of known for using a polearm when it comes to fighting, yeah?
Yes.
Alright, so this next one we got is from Aurora, and she's asking what your favorite polearm combat story is.
Oh, my favorite polearm combat story is actually kind of sad. So, yeah, it was out in Ravenstone, and some people will remember my original polearm, which was my lovely bamboo core. I absolutely adored that. It was the original Pokey Lady.
I was about to say, was that the one with the words Pokey Lady inscribed on it?
No, I actually got Pokey Lady put on a follow-up bamboo polearm that I made sort of as a tribute to the first one. But I was out in Ravenstone, and we were playing Gravity Flag, and Ty was the Reeve, I think.
Oh.
And something happened, and my polearm wound up getting broken around Ty. And it was the first like death of a beloved weapon that I had experienced, and it was kind of, I don't know, like the weapon broke around Ty, but I wasn't actually hitting him. Something like somebody ran into the other side of it, so I'm on one end, Ty's in the middle, and someone else is on the other end, and it just like snapped around him. It was very sad. I have pictures of...
You said that was your favorite polearm combat story?
Well, I don't know. It's the most memorable.
No, I mean, I guess there's
I'm not sure. Yeah, it was an important sort of moment in my weapon ownership life. It's where you learn that all weapons are transient, nothing is permanent, and enjoy it while you have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good something to live by. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something.
And don't let people borrow your favorites.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I learned that lesson a lot later, after several of mine got broken by other people. But... And now I'm kind of stingy.
Well, that's why I bought Renaissance weapons, and I usually bring them with me so that if anybody asks, I'm like, yeah, take this really heavy sword. Not that
that's
I'm complaining
very
about
smart and very
Renaissance
kind
weapons.
of you.
I'm not complaining about Renaissance weapons. I just really like my sword that's quickity quick.
Right.
I should do that. That's a smart idea.
Mm-hmm. Next
It
question.
is. It's a good use.
Mm-hmm. Next question's from Aurora again. If you could meet one celebrity, who would it be and why? Ooh, fun ones.
So I'm assuming this isn't like, Amtgard celebrity, but just celebrity at large.
This is just
I'm assuming, like...
It's just in general. It doesn't have to be an Amtgard celebrity.
Okay, great.
But like, picture them playing Amtgard.
I'm gonna need to take a moment now. So I think previously I probably would have said Nicole Kidman because I think she's flipping amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, I'm probably more in the Benedict Cumberbatch team.
Good old baritone cobblepot.
Mr. Otterface.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when I think about like Benedict Cumberbatch playing Amtgard, that's pretty epic.
Yeah.
Doing the smog voice.
Well, in all honesty, if
Yeah,
Benedict...
sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah, I'll be honest. If Benadryl Kitty Cat started playing Amtgard, I would never call him by his actual name. I would just keep doing the same different variation of Battletoad Kibblesworth's names.
Absolutely. That would be the only appropriate way to handle that.
Well, yeah, of course. Like on it, and in case anyone's asking, no, I don't have. No, I'm probably not going to run out of Bellatrix Cornerstone names anytime soon. So just want to make sure that's clear.
I think most of the ones that I go with are like not appropriate, so I'll just say them in my head.
I feel like this would probably answer the question already, but this next one we got is from Boot, and she asks, if you could touch the butt of any one person, past or present, whose butt would it be?
I don't understand why I have to just pick one butt to touch, because butts are awesome, and I think that, you know, they should be touched. So I'm confused by this question as to why I have to be limited to just one butt.
Because that's what it said in the question. It just said one. Plus, you know...
It's challenging. It's challenging because as much as like Benedict Cumberbatch is awesome, I don't really think that his butt is probably like his best feature. So I don't think that I would go with Benedict Cumberbatch for that.
Honestly, I'd say probably the best thing about Broccoli Cauliflower would be his voice.
Yeah,
can
that's
fully
pretty
admit
great.
that.
Oh, I have it. I have the butt that I would like to touch.
Yeah?
And that is Lil' Kim.
Oh.
Dude, that butt. So, there you have it.
All right. There you go, Boot.
Our next question comes from Sweet Sweet Ray. What inspires you? Heart emoticon.
People.
Yay.
No, like, it's true. And this is, you know, in Amtgard and beyond. But when I sit down and I look at the people that I get the pleasure to interact with in Amtgard and beyond, it's really the people and what they're willing to give of themselves to projects and activities that they're passionate about that is incredibly inspiring and motivating to me. I look at what other people are willing to give, and that motivates me to also give more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we touched on that question a little bit earlier today. Earlier in the episode, so I kind of figured this would be sort of redundant, but you know, it's nice to hear it like just flat out said like that.
Absolutely. And I pretty much love to talk about how people in general inspire me at any moment in time, so love those questions.
Fair enough. Okay, so the last one we have on our list here is, if you were a deity in the Amtgard pantheon, what would your domains be?
Death! Like, seriously.
I love how quick I love how quick you were with that.
It is like hands down, no question.
Spoken like a true anti-paladin.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because in the Greek pantheon, Hades is the more like level-headed of the three brothers.
I'd say she'd
That
probably
just kind of shakes his head at the constant.
I was gonna say, if anything, I think his wife is a little bit crazier than he is.
Maybe.
The hot ones are always crazy.
Yep.
I mean, half the time Persephone's just like, girl, hold my flower. It's okay, baby girl, I got your flower. You go mess him up.
Right? Dig it. You gotta, like, respect somebody who's, like, willing to, you know, keep the home fires burning while, you know, the crazy spouse goes out and, like, roughs shit up.
Yeah, I mean, she decked out like 2/3 of his lair, so give her some like crazy time.
She's earned it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so we pretty much burned through all our questions a lot quicker than I was expecting. So we're now at probably.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. So we just burnt. So that just means we have more time for probably one of my favorite parts of the show, and that is Vex's lightning round. Now, for the first-time watchers, this is pretty much where I let Vex go off her hinges and just ask whatever she wants. So with that, Vex, take it away.
What's so great about unicorns?
They're the best.
That's it?
Do you need more than that?
Sure, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, they're just the best.
I just want to hear you
They're
talk about
sparkly
unicorns.
and happy and glittery and poop rainbows. And, like, if you look at their hooves, I have a question. Are they cloven hooves or not? Because in some places, like in some pictures, they're cloven hooves. But then that makes them not a horse. And I like horses, so I like to think that they're not cloven hooves because then that makes them way closer to horses. And I want them to wear glittery horseshoes because that's fucking awesome.
Beautiful.
I've seen both. I've seen tiny little cloven hooves, then I've seen tiny petite little hooves that are little pointy, like perfect.
Yeah, here's the problem with
wedges.
cloven hooves. Like, that makes them like goats, and that's not cool. Well, I mean, goats are cool, right? But horses are better, so I don't want my unicorn to be like a goat. Like, goats eat.
You're liking Hadelind.
Things that aren't so.
Okay, there you go. I know. I'm personally a fan of the rhinoceros unicorn. You know, the one I firmly believe that all unicorns are beautiful in some shape or form.
Agree. And actually, like, if you dig into like unicorn mythology, there's some really interesting unicorns around the world, and each a little bit different, and I appreciate that. But really, the ones that look like horses and are sparkly and glittery are clearly the best.
What's your favorite snack?
Anything savory, salty, crunchy, really all the stuff that I'm not supposed to eat, that's my favorite.
Same.
What video games are you playing right now?
I'm not. So my household is playing a lot of Fortnite, but I'm not really like super jiving on that game. And as terrible as it is, like, I could just go back and play Diablo for like years. I really like that game.
Diablo's great. Wait, which one?
3.
Okay. I was gonna say, honestly, all of them are good, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I've played. I was really late to video games. I didn't really grow up playing video games. I didn't own my first console. Well, I guess, I don't know, until like a few years ago. And so I've been late to it, but Borderlands 2 is what sealed the deal for me. Freaking love that game.
Beautiful.
And I've actually been considering lately, like, going back and replaying it with like the other characters. Of course, I got drawn in by the Necromancer because I was an unskilled video gamer and I needed girlfriend mode. And thank you to the developers who gave me a way to play that game and not feel like an idiot. I really appreciate that, and it was my gateway drug. So yeah, but I'm not really playing anything right now.
Yeah, I ended up getting a Switch like a couple months ago, and I still haven't even touched on it just because life's been busy.
They look really cool.
Yeah, my old roommates had one, and it looks fun from what I saw from them.
Yeah, we were down at the Mall of America this summer, and they were having like a big Nintendo thing and so like Nintendo was there, and they had all these games set up, and you could just like walk in and play them. It was really cool, and so we got to play around with the Switch a little bit, and I was really impressed at how like ingenious the system was.
It's kind of surreal to me, like, seeing some games now, because like a lot of games that came out recently, I have like, for those of you who like who don't know me outside of the show is I got started in a lot of voice acting like years and years ago, and have only just recently started getting back into it. And like a lot of the games that are coming out nowadays, I know half the people who are in them. Like not just I know who this guy is, but like I actually got started at, like on the same forum with these guys. Like what was that one game that came out recently? Snipper Clips, I think is what it was called. It's like this puzzle game.
I have no idea, but that's a cool name.
Yeah, it's like this puzzle game of like these two like figures, I think, and you have to like snip them up with like the Wiimote as scissors so they can like fit into certain puzzles and stuff. And like my friend plays both the leading characters, and it's actually kind of cool like hearing that.
That is cool.
Like another big game that came out a while ago was I think it was called a big game that came out was called Nier Automata. Was my vocal coach is actually the voice of the leading character in that game, and that was actually really cool. Like it's surreal to me.
That's how you know you're taking lessons from the right person, because they're actually like doing something successful in their field. So that seems like a good sign.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I mean it's more common than you think too, because like a lot of big names have actually been doing a lot of like workshop classes online.
Sure, no, that makes good sense. I mean, like if you're successful in a field, then a good way to make money on that, not only working in the field, but is to educate other people on how to work in the field.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Good business sense. I approve.
What Hogwarts house are you in?
I think I'm Ravenclaw. I'm pretty sure I'm Ravenclaw.
Nice.
I don't know. I feel like you have
sure.
I feel like there's also sort of a low key bit of a Slytherin in you too, if we're being honest.
Oh snap, man!
I'm not saying this isn't. I'm not saying that as anything malicious towards you, Hadelind. It's just I've worked with you. I know.
Ambitious.
I know there's
Yeah.
There's something in there.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I dig it.
Yeah, but I could see Ravenclaw too, though. Kind of fits with your whole bookkeeping position too.
Cunning and creativity.
Right? But I'm not very creative, so maybe not.
I always thought that was more of a Hufflepuff thing, actually.
Well, I've heard that Ravenclaw is, as well as the sort of intellectual bookie, it's also sort of the creative dreamer, like artistic type of. So you might get a Ravenclaw that actually consistently fails at school tests, but they use their brain powers for,
That's
other
cool.
things. I
think, like, if I were going to aspire to be in any particular house, it would probably be Hufflepuff. But I think I'm not actually, I don't know, joyously bubbly enough to be, like, actual Hufflepuff.
I don't know. I could see you making it.
But you're like one of my role models for Joy Bubble.
I don't know. I guess I just really put like Hufflepuff like up on like a pedestal, right? Like if you're gonna make that, you have to be just like insanely happy all the time.
Man, now I feel like I shouldn't be in Hufflepuff.
Oh no! You are totally Hufflepuff. Are you kidding me? Like, you are so Hufflepuff. You're like the epitome of Hufflepuff.
Oh jeez. I mean, I did have popcorn and hot chocolate waiting for Hars when it came over, so...
Yeah, there's definitely some puff in her.
That's so Hufflepuff. And Vex, like, to be for realsies serious, like, you're kind of my role model when it comes to being happy and bubbly and just, like, super duper sparkly.
That makes me feel really good.
This is a nice upbeat episode. This is nice.
Yeah.
Yay! And then I'm the god of death.
Yes! Well, it's not a bad thing. It is.
Being death is a job.
Like, there's no getting away from that. There's no getting around it. It's there.
And death is just the inevitable transformation into something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So don't pity the dead, just pity the living. There, we've come full circle on the Harry Potter thing.
That's perfect.
Do you prefer reading books or audiobooks?
Dude, I can't freaking stand audiobooks. They're lazy. So I'm going to go with reading books.
See,
Nice.
I'm gonna offer my perspective on this mostly because, like, see, I used to be able to read like crazy, and for some reason now I would have this problem where my brain would just kind of auto loop, and I would like read the same page like 5 times over and not even realize it. So, like, lately I've been using Audible lately, and full disclosure, we're not sponsored by this at all, but like, I've been using that to like listen through, funny enough, Harry Potter books 1 through 7, and that's like just been. That's pretty much what I've been able to do to like get my reading in, ish. It's like Splenda for reading.
Yeah. No, like, I totally get that, but so my problem is when I listen to audiobooks, I don't actually listen to them. Like, they just become background noise. And I feel like I do the book absolute and utter disservice. And so if I really want, if a book is important enough, then read it that anymore. So maybe I should just pick up audiobooks.
No, I mean, really, also I should probably clarify that I don't really listen to it. I don't like just sit around my house and listen to it. I just kind of listen to it while I like drive place to place or something. Because I don't think I'd be able to sit there and just listen to it either. Because I do see where you're coming from, Hadelind.
Yeah, I'm kind of being selfish with this part because my household is about to pick up audiobooks and I'm sort of collecting people's perspectives on how they feel about it. Because I tried a couple years ago, I tried to listen to an audiobook and the voice actor just nails on chalkboard made me angry before the first chapter was over.
So see, some people can, audiobooks can work for some books better than others, I'll admit to that. Like, I don't know, have either of you seen like this movie called The Room? It's one of those so bad it's good movies.
I think I have. Is that like the Panic Room one?
No.
No, okay. It's like this really bad French actor one. It's like, it was originally written as a melodrama, but then the acting was so hokey that it was like reclassified as a black comedy. And one of the first books I got was written by one of the actors, what it was like working with this weird French actor. And like whenever he talks about him, he would always like do like this really bad French accent that he for some reason spoke in, even though he was French himself. It's like an American trying to do a French accent. I don't even know what accent I was doing there, but like it's pretty great hearing it like that.
Yeah, I could see that like really adding to some books, but I've also run into the experience where, man, if whoever's reading it isn't awesome, it just really sucks. So it can go either way.
I guess I'm most excited because my husband is dyslexic, so he just sort of doesn't read for pleasure. Like after school was over, he just kind of never picked up a book again. So
sure.
Like we have a lot of good conversations about sort of the narratives and animes and video games and movies, but then there's stuff like he hasn't read Harry Potter, so it's like there's an opportunity for him to listen to Harry Potter being read, which I think would be a really good experience because I want to talk about that.
I will say this, the audiobooks for the Harry Potter ones are nice.
So I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right.
I have also never read a single Harry Potter book.
Sweet.
Cool. In all honesty, like up until just recently, that was me too. So I don't fault you for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's fun to do.
Well, we learn to love all bloodlines, not just the pure bloods.
I think that sounds good.
It was something for the fans. You got any more on you, Vex?
Oh man, I spent the day sleeping with NyQuil. Let's see if I can do another one. What's your favorite holiday?
The kind that I don't have to go to work for.
I can
Those are my favorite ones.
Hey, it's that time of the year, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, like, there's gonna be, like, entire blocks, like, where we won't have to work.
Yeah, I like those parts a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Thanksgiving, but that feels wrong. But I think it is my favorite. Because I really like turkey and ham and stuffing and mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts and all
I'm excited.
things.
Yeah, I'm excited for Thanksgiving this year because this is going to be the first one where I'm not going to be working on Thanksgiving night, and it's going to be great.
Ooh.
That will be amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love working a state job.
I'm excited because my adopted in-law family uses chestnuts in their Thanksgiving cooking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's glorious.
That was a revelation for me.
All right.
That sounds like the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's a good place to stop here. Actually, I'm gonna cut this part out for when we do our proper outro. But you got anything else you want to do, Vex?
Not really. I could keep going, but
I was gonna say you look like you're kind of falling in and out of sleep. Are you all right?
I'm okay.
Like,
She's drugged up, man.
If you could see, like, right now, Hadelind, she's kind of, like, keeping herself propped up with her arms right now, and she kind of has that, like, Luna Lovegood look to herself, just, like, where she's kind of...
You know what happened, though?
Spacey.
What happened was...
Spacey, yeah.
So I
You
stayed
see
home...
what happened was...
I stayed home with a sick baby all weekend.
Oh.
And I knew I was getting a cold, but I was like, whatever, it's not that bad. I'm not gonna take naps. I got stuff to do. And last night... Well, yesterday I went to work and I did hit, like, the cold hit, but I was like, okay, I'm at work, it's okay. And then before I went to bed, I was like, I'm gonna take Dayquil for some reason. I don't know why. And that was a huge mistake. I didn't get any sleep.
I don't know. I operate under the phrase of Mama Mage didn't raise a quitter, so, like, two of our episodes of the chopping block, I think it was, I want to say it was Goran and Deli's, were both done while I was still sick as hell. So, major shout out to Vex on that part for just being like a workhorse and powering through my, like, falling apart as we were doing that.
It was fun.
Yay, teamwork!
Yay!
Like, if you notice, like, our audio for that cut out a lot, mostly just because I was muting us just so I could hack out my whatever was in my system while they were talking.
And leave it all at Vex's house. Here, have some germ.
Oddly enough, I don't think they got sick from that. That was the weird part.
I don't know. We got sick from
That was weird. It's probably because as soon as you left, like, Vex went around with, like, some massive Lysol and was like, kill, kill, kill!
The rogue plague. I like it.
Yeah, so today was spent at home with NyQuil and SNL, having weird dreams about Miss Swan.
I'd say that was a better idea than mine, because when I was sick from work one day, I just stayed home and spent the whole day binging through both The Boondocks and Shameless. Word of advice, by the way, if you're easily impressionable, don't do that.
But man, NyQuil is so great for creative dreaming. Like, I have a story idea that I love so much. Good stuff.
I was gonna say, you don't let me stop you. I'd love to hear it on this.
Oh, okay, yeah, I will totally. So it was basically about conventions and cosplay was kind of the theme. And one of the protagonists was a girl who was 100% passionately good at getting into character of whatever, like, figure she wanted to cosplay as. But she was total, utter shit at doing costuming. So she would wear, like, really shitty melting foam stuff and things like that, but just be so spot on in character that people kind of were willing to overlook some of the more shitty parts. But the other protagonist is the guy who's kind of like at the peak of the cosplay game, sort of, you know, everything he makes is so wonderfully gorgeous and flawless, and he has all these sponsors, and he wins all these awards for cosplay, and he's like one of the more judgy condescending a-hole people who's just, I'm so much better than everybody else. And he's like waiting in line for some stupid convention thing, because that's, 99% of your time is waiting in lines doing nothing, so that you get to see a glimpse of this one thing. And he's waiting in line being bored out of his mind and looking at cosplayers, and he just sees this one girl who's in like fucking cardboard and foam. And he's like making fun of her mentally, but then he's like totally drawn in by her absolutely flawless characterization, and he says, I have a new project, I have a new passion, I'm gonna make her my Mona Lisa artist project, like she's going to be my cosplay. And that's the rom-com situation I would go with.
Dude, you could totally like mainstream that storyline. Like that's some movie stuff, right? Like it's like Sleepless in Seattle for cosplay.
I like it. Sleepless in San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That goes along with cosplaying, right? Like you just don't get to sleep when you have a cosplay you're working on.
Nope. As a matter of fact, you do not. Okay, I just realized we're getting a little off the rails here, so we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah,
hey,
whatevs.
I know, Vex, I know. All right.
You unclipped the leash and you said, "Run, puppy, run!"
Yeah, that's literally what happens at the end of every episode.
It reminds me of that meme of the little puppy that made like the huge wiggly tracks in the dew in the yard. And the person posts like, this is what my dog did first thing this morning.
Yeah.
And that is Vex.
All right. I think we'll call that a night then. So, once again, thank you all for watching this episode. And Hadelind, thank you for participating in this episode. This was a ton of fun today.
Yeah.
So much fun. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I adore it.
Anytime. All right, guys, thank you all for watching, and tune in next time where we'll be giving Ravenstone some overdue love as we interview their monarch, Kraken. Until then, I'm Hars, this is Vex, and you've been watching The Chopping Block. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.